The prequel to X is a gym.
Trapped on her family's isolated farm, Pearl must tend to her ailing father under the bitter, overbearing watch of her devout mother. Hoping for a glamorous life, Pearl's ambitions, temptations, and repressions all collide to a horrific effect. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the summary for Pearl. Now, if you're first time joining us, we do a thing called a one sentence review. Jason and I will review this movie in one sentence. So we're going to do it like we always do it. Jason, what is your one sentence review of Pearl?
The prequel to X is a gym.
Woo! I love that.
Because I think Pearl's a gym. Pearl's considered gyms, right? Yeah.
Let's go with it. I'm going to go with that. That's what I learned from Steven Universe. So yes, I'm going to go with Pearl being a gym. My one sentence review of Pearl is, I have no words. But that bitch crazy.
That bitch is crazy.
All right, let's jump right into our review of Pearl. Jason, I'll let you go and lead off of here, man. What do you think about the story, man?
Oh, dude, this is a riveting fun time. It's batshit insane. It is crazy, but it is so much fun. As you may or may not know, I'm not the horror guy. Jason, the other Jason, is the horror guy. You know, so you gotta have it's a high bar for me to like horror movies. All right. And I simply was just in this thing having a great old time. I mean, the way they present this movie is like it's like a state, like a 1930s like Wizard of Oz kind of thing going on. And you know, you have the backdrop of World War I going on in this, and you know, people being sent off to the war. But Mia Goth as Pearl, like, she is the crux of this film, and she just carries this whole entire thing. And you know, you don't even really care about the other characters, because the whole story is just about her just trying to like realize and realization of her dreams, right? She's trying to get off this farm and be someone famous in the pictures, and like that's her only goal in this whole entire thing, is she wants to be famous. And like throughout this, she does some crazy things.
Well, and that's the thing. That's why the story is so. Me and Jason saw this together. The mind, she's like, and when we left, we put it perfect. This felt like, even from the aesthetic, but like a grim fairy tale, and not like your Disney versions of it. I'm talking about the one the Grimm brothers will read, where it's kind of tragedy. Like, it's like you want to root. Yeah, you want to root for Pearl. You want to, but it's almost like something's off. And even with all you wanting to see her succeed, like Pearl's her greatest enemy, her worst enemy. And it's just because the thing that's off in her is what it holds her back from being quote unquote great. And so when you're watching this movie, you keep getting these moments where you root for Pearl, and then she do something crazy, and you're like, oh no, and then she takes it too far, and you're like, this chick is a menace. Now you start changing to how is she going to get out of this? Because there's a lot of stuff going on here that just seems to not be right. And then like the reveal that like the mother knew the whole time, it's like bonkers. And it's like, oh, that's why your mother, because they really set the mother up to be like a bitch. They really set the mother up to be unlikable and all this stuff. And then you realize like it's a reason for why she is the way she is with Pearl. And it's just, and I don't want to call it a twist of turns. I think it's just storytelling. It's good storytelling. Like point blank, you set up a premise, you work your premise, and you explain why the character's motivations are what they are to the main character here. And it like the story is great. Like, and I think that was the thing that surprised me the most going into it, because I was expecting kind of slasher-esque feel like X. Now people don't know Pearl is the prequel to X that came out I think last year, I believe.
It was early this year.
Last year.
It
was early this year. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the prequel to it, and one also, if you watch Pearl, you understand a lot of stuff in X, why she was the way she is in X from Pearl, but it's just the way they scripted this and the feel, the look, all of it plays into this just almost nightmarish fairy tale. Mm-hmm. Like it almost looks too clean to be this dirty. if that makes any sense.
Because it's definitely a set that's way different from X, because X is more grimy and more realistic. Well, this is like they present this to you like this is in Technicolor, like this is like this beautiful place that she lives in, but she's so desperate to get out of it, and she's so desperate to leave that she is doing horrible things to get out of here. And the I'm going to be like an art student here. The juxtaposition between the way this looks and the horror that she does, just like it just makes it even more horrible, and it just makes it even more like affecting because of the way that this whole thing is shot. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the story punctuates it. But I would even say that for me, it doesn't. It's not as Pearl isn't as high on the horror scale as I would say that I would have thought walking into it. This feels more like a thriller. It feels more like a thriller. Like if this would have been a lot cheaper budget, this could have been on Lifetime and been like, oh, okay. Like it could have fit in Lifetime and I mean, lot goofier acting though, because this acting in here, we'll get on that in a second. But it could have fit in that lane and nobody would have complained.
But also the fact that it takes away account from its horror aspects is the fact that we are 100% looking through Pearl's eyes, right? Like we are following her. We're in her head of what her motivations are. So when she does end up doing the heinous thing she does, we're like almost rooting for her a little bit, So it's like it's not scary in that way. You're like, yeah, kill that bitch.
right. Which is, and it's gonna say something odd that I don't think I've said in many horror movies ever. The acting in here is phenomenal.
Oh my goodness.
The acting in here, even down to my man, the alligator, he even do his role right. Like, but all jokes aside, the father, I don't know his name, but the eyes and how because the father in this, like I don't know what disease or something is bothering him, but he can't move. So the only thing he can really literally do is move his eyes.
And Matthew Sunder is the actor's name.
Dude needs to get a nomination for act because he tells all the emotions in the story through only eyes, and it is amazing. Right. You get terrified with him from just a glance at what he sees, and you're like, bruh, I feel you. I would feel the same way. Like, he is masterful, but I know we're going to talk about it because everybody's going to talk about it. I know they don't nominate a lot of horror movies for anything, but Mia Goth, her monologue at the end, and me and Jason joked about that. I'm going to let Jason will talk about it, but that monologue at the end, chef's kiss. Not even just for a horror movie. For any movie you want to put in there, yeah, I'll let Jason talk about that more.
She puts on a clinic on this. She puts on a clinic of how to act in a movie, man. Like, from her way that she, like, turns from, like, why don't you like me to manically, like she turns on a dime. It is so great. And that monologue at the end, like, some art student, some new actor, 5-10 years down the road is going to audition for a part using that monologue. I'm going to imagine freaking casting directors going to get tired of hearing that because she is masterful in this. Like, and as a person, have only seen 2 movies in her in the for me anyway. I don't know how many other movies she's been in. Like, this is like. She could hang this up on her wall and like, this is the best thing I've done right here.
Yeah.
Like this, because mostly of this movie is hung on her shoulders and like on the way that she acts as Pearl, and she steps up to the plate and just hits a home run, and it almost makes everybody else look like they don't even know what they're doing. Except for her mom. Right. It's really great. And Miss Ruth is really good.
Yeah, that whole family, the Pearls are really good. Yeah. That's the first name, but they're all really good in their roles here. And again, it is not too many people in this movie.
Yeah,
maybe the cast is 6 people, maybe.
Yeah, 6 people total. One of them doesn't even get a name. The projectionist doesn't even get a name. Nope. But only problem is, you can't be killing your family's sister-in-law, man. She had nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Well, and her ass should have got out that road a lot sooner, a lot quicker. But I love I love when, when the end comes and someone makes it home and he gets to look at the carnage, and like the holding final scene is so
Oh,
fulfilling but so uncomfortable at the same time,
it
and
is.
almost to the point. I don't know how you felt, Jason. I know for me, I thought maybe they did a steal on it, and it was just a steal. But then you start realizing as you keep looking,
that
no, this is just her holding this.
They just have not called cut, and she's just, oh man,
it's so unsettling,
because she's like has this smile, and you think she's like overly happy, but then like as it keeps going and going, you see that like she's straining to hold this, and it's basically like the movie in a nutshell. Really,
yes,
she's plastered on this fake smile, and as you keep going, you see the pain in it, and then you see her break, and the tears start to come down as she breaks. As I said, Mia Goth put on a clinic. She's out here in the streets teaching these kids how to act.
Right. What about the kills? What did you think about the kills? As a horror guy, we got to talk about the kills. That's part of what horror movies are. What do you feel about the kills? Good enough? Not good enough?
I love in horror movies where you realize that you probably would have acted the same way, and you end up the same way. I like the kills in this because nothing here ever felt stupid, right? In a lot of horror movies, Halloween Kills, a lot of the kills feel stupid. Like no human being would act like this, When the dude leaves, he's just like, okay, I'm out of here. He didn't, Mama was like, I'm just going to tell you who you are about yourself. She would have done the same. My parents done that to me. I'm going to tell you about yourself.
I just want to say this. I can't wait till Halloween Ends comes out so you can start using Halloween Ends as the trash of the Halloween Kids.
I should use Texas Chainsaw Massacre because I hated that one way worse than I hated Halloween Kills. But like, Evil Dies Tonight is still it's too much. It's too much. But yeah, the kills here, they're not very creative. Like, you're not going to see anything, outlandish, but they are definitely like affecting. They're definitely like, visceral and very gnarly at times. So yeah, the kills here are great. Some people don't get killed right away. They expire later.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, I mean only like 5 people died in this. Yeah. So
including the pig, really the pig and the goose. The kill cow.
That poor goose. The goose got it first.
I didn't say that poor goose, man. That poor roasted pig, man. Like that thing was looking good. And now
we don't take turn. Like, no, we take a suckling pig, taking that, eating that. Look at my fingers. That shit was good.
Yeah. Rip that skin off that back and had some bacon, some crackling up in that thing. Yeah. But yeah. So yes, as a horror guy, I'm always in for the kills. I think the genre they were trying to fill for the horror film in this did not need the over the top killing and in the moments, and so I get it, and I kind of roll with it in the sense that I get that's why it wasn't the way it was. I do wish it would have just been a little more gruesome, but I think if it was, it would have taken away from what we talked about, the clean aesthetic that they were going for most of the movie. So I do think that was interesting. All I'm going to say, because we're not going to ruin it for you and let you go see it yourself, is no scarecrow in the history of movies has gotten as much action that was not named Michael Jackson in any movie in history. That's all I'm going to say. That is all I'm going to say.
I can imagine his face if he could move. Like, whoa. Right. I needed to know. I didn't sign up for this.
I know Michael said, you can't win. That scarecrow won. But all right, other than that,
out of the game. Right. No matter how much you try.
So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do something we've been doing new now. We're gonna do our ratings. Now, our rating here, we're gonna look at some portions of the film and we're gonna give it some head if we think it's great. If we think it's it's okay, we're gonna give it a canon. And if we think it is just straight trash and garbage, Halloween kill status, we're gonna call it a clown. So, Jason, storyline, what would you give Pearl?
Head all the way. Just straight No gums, no teeth, all throat.
Facts. Straight there with
I'm
you.
sorry.
Maybe that maybe is
listening to
explosive. That maybe it's explosive, but yes. The kills were head, cannon, or circus.
Head, man, because even though it was only a few of them, some of them got a gnarly.
I'm gonna give that one a cannon, just because I'm me loving the genre. I think we could have upped it up a little bit more, but I get why it was so subtle. And then, which is gonna be odd for me to ever say in a horror movie. Yes, the acting, head, cannon, or circus.
Mia Goth alone gets ahead. Just by herself, she gets ahead. Easily. Mm-hmm. Everybody else just is icing on the cake.
Yes. I'm right there with you, the head. And then special honorable mention to the look of the film. The film looks amazing. It looks I would push people to go see this in the theaters just for the look alone. Last thing but not least, we will rate the movie overall. 5 being great, 1 being some trash. Jason, what do you give Pearl?
A 5. I'm not the horror guy, right? But I enjoyed this way more than I enjoyed X, and I enjoyed X.
Right. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm 5 out of 5, man. This was just a fun, nice, and the movie felt short too. It didn't feel overdrawn. It felt very quick and to the point. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. 5s all around. If it's also your first time listening, we do a thing called the Head Canon Circus Book Club, and this month or this time we are going to do and review and read Dungeons and Do-Rags by Ron Dawson. Yeah, I'm gonna put up a little blurb there, so if you watch it online, you can kind of see this. But yes, we're gonna do that one, Dungeons and Do-Rags, again by Ron Dawson. Go ahead and pick up your copy. I still haven't come down with a date yet on when we're going to do this, but I'm gonna just assume it's going to be about mid to end of October when we will do the review on it. Mr. Dawson has been gracious enough to say that he will join us on the show when we do review it. So go out and get your copy. I promise by next week we'll have a date solidified down. Yeah. Nice, good book. I've already cracked open and started reading parts of it. The book's good, man. And it was one of those things I had to sit down because it was like 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I know my old buck, I get up in the morning, so I need to go and take my butt to sleep. But if I was in my 20s, I probably would have read that book till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. A lot of relatable stories, a lot of relatable incidents that I definitely could find comfort in. And I'm pretty sure, Jason, with you having a background.
We can't give the whole thing away today, man. We gotta wait.
So go out and copy it, get your copy, guys, and tell us what you think on the date that we review it, because we will go live on that one. But again, Dungeons and Do-Rags, guys. Go out and get your copy. Be there or be square.